This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 5.
That's the way politics works sometimes. We try really hard to persuade people that we're right. And then people vote. And then if we lose, we learn from our mistakes, we do some reflection, we lick our wounds, we brush ourselves off, we get back in the arena. We go at it. We try even harder the next time.
Election day has come and gone. A new president has been announced, and now the country and the world are reacting to a historic presidential race. Just hours after the most stunning victory in modern U.S. presidential history, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and President Obama are agreeing our nation needs to unify. Steve Handelsman has made his way from New York to the White House and joins us with the latest. Steve.
Christy, thanks. Good evening from the White House. There was nothing traditional about this presidential election, but today, all of the principals, including the president-elect, are using traditional, let's work together now to unify America, rhetoric.
To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people.
He takes office in 10 weeks. And Donald Trump was invited here tomorrow by President Obama. At the White House, Steve Handelsman, KCBD News Channel 11. Christy, back to you.
Thanks so much, Steve. Last night, Google Trends was showing the top trending searches. The top 5 for Clinton included abortion, immigration, race issues, gun control, and ISIS. For Trump, abortion, race issues, immigration, economy, and Affordable Care Act. America's political earthquake shook the world this morning. Right now, not a lot of people understand what a President Trump will mean internationally. The uncertainty sent a jolt through global markets, and Americans overseas were stunned.
No one thought it could happen, and it happened.
One man in one election year in one branch of government is not going to, end the world.
International leaders woke up to a new world. Right now, the U.S.-backed battle to take back Mosul from ISIS is underway, but the strategy was questioned by Donald Trump on the campaign trail. In Mexico, where he promised to build a wall on the border, the peso plummeted. Vladimir Putin sent a personal message to Trump calling for dialogue, while in China, there are questions over the future of world trade.
We're seeing a disaster coming.
I think it's pretty good because you know how to do business.
Today, in a tweet, the Pope said, "May we make God's merciful love ever more evident in our world through dialogue, mutual acceptance, and fraternal cooperation." High school students in California and Washington staged peaceful walkouts in protest of Trump. Students at Lincoln High School in San Jose staged a peaceful walkout just before lunchtime this afternoon. And in Seattle, about 200 students from West Seattle High School walked out of school and marched through the streets. They chanted, "Save our future" and "Not my president." Millennials protested in the streets, lighting fires and burning Trump effigies in the Liberal Bay Area. Those protesters promised more rallies for this evening. And in Iowa, students from several Des Moines area high schools staged walkouts. At least 3 high schools reported students walking out. One of the schools permitted students to protest for 15 minutes before returning to class. In a statement, Des Moines Public Schools says students have the right to be heard, adding their freedom of speech is constitutionally protected in the classroom. And could voting from your phone be something in the future? A Texas-based company, Mutual Mobile, says a woman in Fairbanks, Alaska, was the first American to vote in a presidential race using an iPhone app. It's called the Vote USA app. It's only available in Alaska right now. If a person registers for an absentee ballot in Alaska, they have the option to fax it into the Division of Elections. Mobile Mutual CEO said the company had to make the journey from Texas to Alaska because election laws dealing with digital submission haven't caught up with technology.
So the challenge for us over the coming couple of years leading up to the midterms would be to begin the debate and to start getting the law very clear about how to make this possible.
The voter and the Division of Elections confirmed her ballot was sent and the vote did count. Some say if you don't share it on social media, did it really happen? Well, it's official. Donald Trump updated his Twitter page to reflect the election results. He now lists himself as President-elect of the United States. According to NBC exit polls, Donald Trump performed stronger among African American and Hispanic voters than Mitt Romney did in 2012. However, the poll shows that the voters nationwide, 45% of Hispanics said they would be scared if Donald Trump won, while 23% would be concerned. KCBD News Channel 11's Presley Fowler spoke with two local Hispanics, one who is pro-Trump and another who is pro-Clinton. Presley?
Well, Christy, I spoke with Brenda Cruz, the vice chair for youth of the Tejano Democrats of Lubbock. She says their members are disappointed with the election results and says they disagree with Trump's ideals and values. She says they're fearful for the unknown.
I don't think we understand how somebody who says such divisive things can ascend to the nation's highest office. You can't say that you're going to be a president for all Americans, but not view them all the same.
I also spoke with Maria Uregas, a local Hispanic who says she voted for Donald Trump. She says her main reason is because she's pro-life, but she also says she feels Trump will bring a needed change to our country.
I really don't think he really is as bad as a lot of people think, and we need to, as Americans, we need to give him a chance. He is our president now, and we need to give him a chance. And you know, people were tired of Hillary and what she stood for and wanted change, and that's what happened.
We'll have more on this story coming up tonight at 6. Christy?
Thanks so much, Presley. As Donald Trump secured the presidency last night, we heard from a few big names in Texas. Take a look at what Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said. It is a new day in America. Change is finally coming to Washington. He later added, despite the usual Democrats' brash talk, they are not going to turn Texas blue. They are not even going to turn it purple. Former President George H.W. Bush called Trump to congratulate him on defeating Hillary Clinton last night, according to spokesman Jim McGrath. Bush also tweeted his congratulations to Trump this morning. Today was another jacket weather day here on the South Plains, but could we warm up soon? I like the sound of that, John.
I know. I've got my jacket on, you know.
I have on long sleeves.
Yeah, same idea. Anyway, maybe we can discard the jackets, but we'll probably have to wait until like Saturday or Sunday, especially
I can go with
Sunday.
that.
It'll warm up by then. Quick look at temperatures in the region show that we are again, though, on Saturday, Christy.
Okay, thanks so much, John. Police believe they may have arrested those responsible for selling fatal doses of fentanyl. Lubbock police sources say murder and attempted murder charges could be coming. KCBD investigative reporter Shaylee Sanders has the latest. Shaylee.
Christie's 6 fatal overdoses in 3 months now blamed on that drug. And sources are telling police the people arrested in the recent raids right here in Lubbock may be the ones responsible for handing over those deadly doses. Now, we were there as authorities conducted 3 fentanyl drug raids in less than 2 weeks. You may remember 28-year-old Jessica Hall, 32-year-old Jamie Robertson, 36-year-old Sidney Lanier, and his wife, 38-year-old Heather Lanier, along with 26-year-old Peyton Wilson, were arrested during those raids. Now, Wilson remains in the hospital after a SWAT officer saw him with a pistol when serving a search warrant. That is according to court documents. Wilson was shot twice and taken to UMC. We have more information on this investigation right now on our website, kcbd.com. Christy?
Thanks so much, Haley. The suspect in the murder of a 10-year-old Texas girl made his first court appearance. Gustavo Zavala Garcia was arraigned in a Smith County courtroom yesterday. He's the main suspect in the alleged kidnapping and murder of Kayla Gomez. Kayla went missing during a November 1st prayer service at a church in Bulliard. After a several-day search, authorities found Kayla's body in a water well at Zavala Garcia's home. He's charged with capital murder. Lubbock police are still searching for a missing Texas Tech student. 33-year-old Jeffrey Hargrove was last heard from by family on Saturday night. His mother called from out of state and filed a missing persons report. Hargrove is 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a blue shirt and jeans. If you have any information, call Crime Line at 741-1000. Investigators have now identified 2 bodies found on the same South Carolina property where a woman was held captive inside a storage container. Investigators found the remains of Megan Lee McCraw Coxey and her husband, Johnny Joe Croxey, over the weekend after they say Todd Colehep told them where to look. The couple vanished last December.
We went simultaneously to both families this morning and be able to give them some answers. You know, it's bad news, but also they have questions that we're able to give them answers to.
There's no word how or if the Coxeys knew Colehep, who's now accused of numerous crimes, including killing the captive woman's boyfriend and the murders of 4 people inside a motorcycle shop back in 2003. Another appeal has been filed to keep Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman from being extradited to the U.S. His lawyers argue if he's brought to the U.S., he may face the death penalty here in Texas. This comes after a federal judge rejected 5 appeals by Guzman to avoid his extradition. The Mexican government says it plans to send the drug lord to the U.S. early next year. There are a total of 6 U.S. cases against him. A new set of skills that some LISD students are learning could help out some local businesses. We'll tell you how. And several states across the country have approved raising the minimum wage. Plus, there's some bad news for some GM employees in the Midwest. And John will have more on when we could warm back up. Lubbock ISD students are learning a new set of skills, culinary skills that is. LISD is teaming up with the United Supermarkets, South Plains College, as well as the Lubbock Restaurant Association for the program called ProStart. It's aimed at creating employment opportunities in the restaurant industry for students before they even graduate high school.
Say a student doesn't want to go to college, it's not for them. There's still different options for them, and that's what we teach. We teach them real-world skills that they can use after high school, and they can even use during high school if they choose the food industry and having a job within that spectrum.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from students who are in this program, as well as a local businessman, and how this program is impacting his restaurants. Colorado is among several states where voters approved measures to raise the state's minimum wage. Colorado will gradually raise its over 4 years to $12 an hour in 2020. It starts with a boost from $8.31 to $9.30 next year. Several business groups fought against the amendment, but labor unions and advocacy groups pushed hard, especially as the cost of living and housing continue to rise in that state.
Folks cannot live on $300 a week. Look at our rents are rising, our costs are rising, healthcare is rising, food is rising, and folks just can't make it. And these are folks, these aren't teenagers working these jobs, these are parents, these are seniors, these are adults who use this income to meet their basic needs, and it just isn't doing it.
Voters in Arizona, Maine, and Washington state also passed measures to raise the minimum wage. General Motors is laying off workers for the first time in 6 years. The automaker plans to cut 2,000 factory jobs in January. GM said the job losses will hit 1,200 workers in Ohio and 800 in Michigan. Some may be offered other positions. The affected plants make the Chevy Cruze, Camaro, and the Cadillac ATS and CTS. Most small car models have seen slumping sales in recent years thanks to low gas prices. Firefighters in upstate New York battled a massive fire this morning. The blaze broke out at the former Bethlehem Steel site. Smoke from the fire could be seen for miles. The site was once a steel plant, but is now home to a mulching company. No word yet on if anyone was hurt in the blaze or the cause of that fire. A massive fire erupted at a plastics plant in California this morning. The blaze started around 3:30 Pacific time at Epic Plastic in the northern part of California's Central Valley. Fire crews there dispatched all of the city's 6 engines and 2 trucks to the scene. Firefighters have not determined the cause of the fire. We have a traffic watch for drivers in West Lubbock. TxDOT made a traffic switch on the Marshall Sharp Freeway this afternoon. The newly constructed eastbound main lanes east of Upland will open to traffic today. The eastbound exit onto Milwaukee will be closed while crews work on the pavement. Drivers are asked to be careful. Watch out for workers in that construction zone while you're there.